After the Wizards 112-108 win, did John Wall prove he's the best point guard in the NBA? What's going on, guys? It's Steve. So John Wall and the Washington Wizards just defeated Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors. Now, Kevin Durant went down with an injury. There will be a video on that shortly. However, did John Wall prove that he is the best point guard in the Eastern Conference? In his win, he had 12 points, 6 rebounds, and 19 assists. Now, the most impressive thing about John Wall is he's averaging 23 points per game and 11 assists per game with 4.5 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 block. He's shooting 45% from the field. He's not a great three-point shooter at only 31%, but he's a good free throw shooter at 81%, which should be higher for his position and height, but he's still a really good player. So is John Wall the best player, the best point guard in the Eastern Conference? And the simple answer is it all comes down to what you need as a team. Okay, because if you look at John Wall right now, he's having an historic season. Okay, an incredibly historic season when you think about historically what point guards have been doing, like Darren Williams, when Darren Williams used to average 23 and 11, when Chris Paul used to average 22 and 12, and all these other stuff. This is a very good season for John Wall. The Washington Wizards are third seed in the Eastern Conference, only 3 games behind the Boston Celtics and only 6 games behind the Cleveland Cavaliers. So they're probably going to have a top seed in the East. They're going to have home court advantage, and the Washington Wizards are having their best season they have ever had with John Wall. But would you take him over, let's say, an Isaiah Thomas or Kyrie Irving? Again, it all comes down to what you need as a team. Think about it. Isaiah Thomas. The Boston Celtics are in great position with him. Why? Yeah, he's only 5'9", and he's statistically the worst defender in the league, but he's averaging 30 points per game, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal. He's shooting 46% from the field. He's a good three-point shooter at 38%, and he's shooting 91% from the free throw line. He is Mr. Fourth Quarter. Okay? You know what the funny thing is? Between Isaiah Thomas and Kyrie Irving, I don't know who's clutcher. Because Kyrie Irving has game winners and, clutch shots in the regular season, but he also does it when it matters in the finals. Okay, with that shot on Stephen Curry in Game 7 and all those other big plays he made in the NBA Finals, dropping 41 points, whatever. Where Isaiah Thomas, it's just, when it's fourth quarter time, you give him the ball and get the F out the way. It's crazy. So again, they're both clutch. I don't know who I would say is clutcher. I would go Kyrie, actually, because he did it in the finals, whereas Isaiah Thomas, he never got there yet, but I'm pretty sure he could do it there too. But anyway, it comes down to what you need as a team. If you need someone, the thing that I like most about John Wall, and the reason why I'm kind of leaning towards John Wall being the best point guard in the Eastern Conference, is because, first of all, he's the best player on his team. Okay, whereas Kyrie Irving, he's not the best player on the team. Isaiah Thomas is. Obviously that's a good thing. The Boston Celtics are second, John Wall and the Wizards are third. But the reason why I would take John Wall over Isaiah Thomas, and this is tough because Isaiah Thomas is a better shooter. Okay, he's slightly a better scorer. I mean, if you look at it, he's a better scorer, I guess you can say. So he's a better shooter, better scorer in general. But John Wall is more of a total player. John Wall, and plus Isaiah Thomas is statistically the worst defender in the league. Where John Wall, I meant to say Isaiah Thomas is statistically the worst player in the league. Where John Wall, he can play defense, he can pass, he can take over at will, he can score at will. He's having a really good season. For the first time in his career, he's averaging over 20 points per game throughout the season. Last year was 19.9, so that's unfortunate. But for the first time in his career, he's averaging over 20 points per game, and he's averaging 23 and 11 assists, which is historic. These are things that Steve Nash did. Well, I don't even think Steve Nash averaged over 20. These are things that like the greatest point guards came close to doing, like your Steve Nash, your Jason Kidds, your Chris Pauls, your Gilbert Arenas, your Darren Williams. I'm just talking about greatest point guards in the last decade and a half. I'm not saying ever. Obviously, ever. Steve Nash, Chris Paul. I don't know if people would consider Gilbert Arenas one of the best point guards ever. I mean, he was good, but I don't know. He didn't really last too long because of injuries and just stupid stuff, bringing a gun to an arena, which is ridiculous. But John Wall, he can pass, shoot, he can play defense, score. He can take over. He's a playmaker, he's a leader, and his team follows him. That's something that Isaiah Thomas, I don't think he has at this point in time. Now, Isaiah Thomas has a lot of respect throughout the league, especially for his height. But John Wall has that leader respect, whereas his team understands, okay, we'll follow you, and you'll take us to the promised land. Where it's, okay, who is it? Is it Isaiah Thomas or is it Al Horford? Is it Avery Bradley? I understand Isaiah Thomas is Mr. Fourth Quarter. He's averaging 30. but I don't see the respect that John Wall gets from his teammates with Isaiah Thomas and his teammates. I don't know if it's because of the height. I don't know what it's because, but I just don't see it. All right, and that's a fact. Now, when you want to talk about Kyrie Irving is playing behind LeBron, and he also has to play with Kevin Love. So if you think about it, that's two other players that are averaging over 20. That's crazy. Okay, so that could take away, I don't know, maybe 10 points from him. So let's say take away 10 points from him, he would be averaging 35, hypothetically. All right, but besides that, factually, he's averaging 25, pretty much 25. It's 24.6. 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 46% from the field, 38% from 3, and 90% from the free throw line. So again, Kyrie Irving's a better scorer, but he's not a playmaker. He's not a great defender. You know what I noticed about John Wall? John Wall doesn't have to have his best guard, his best perimeter defender guard a Stephen Curry or guard a Kyrie Irving or an Isaiah Thomas, because John Wall is a defensive player. And this is what I love the most about John Wall is the totality of his game, because I think it was 2014-15, he was named for the all-defense team. He's a 4-time All-Star. He's all rookie. He's been an All-Star the last 4 years. He's a great freaking player. I mean, if you look at his last 3 years, he's been averaging a double-double. Back in 2014-15, when he was named to the all-defensive team, he was averaging 18 points per game, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. Last season, 19.9 points per game, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. This season, 23, 11, and nearly 5 rebounds, which is crazy. So I think John Wall is the best point guard in the Eastern Conference. When you look at totality, now, I'm not going to say, the Cavaliers should go get John Wall for Kyrie Irving, or the Celtics should try and get John Wall for Isaiah Thomas. It all depends on what your team needs. If you need a pure scorer, get Kyrie. If you need a pure scorer who's clutch, get both of them, Isaiah Thomas or Kyrie. But if you need a total point guard, a miniature LeBron, go get John Wall. Anyway, guys, it's been Steve. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section below. Is John Wall the best point guard in the Eastern Conference? I think he is, and I think he's proving it this season just because of the totality of his game. I'm out. Peace.